In 1994, Disney released The Lion King. The fifth installment from the Disney Renaissance era, the film hit the box office to huge success, earning nearly $1 billion. Disney, being a company aimed at kids, were keen to capitalise on this success and did so the way they knew best, with toys, and the new hot toy of the early 90s was the video game. Developed by Westwood Studios and published by Virgin Games. Okay, Mr. Branston, Virgin might work as a company name for music, planes, holidays, mobile, cruise ships, racing cars, books, and space travel, but you can't name a games publisher that. Gamers have already got it hard as it is.
Hey guys, you want to play some Virgin games? Guys?
Released for MS-DOS PCs, The Lion King came with a nice big box design, as did most PC games from that era. No offense, but only a neckbeard would own one of these big boxes in 2020. Here's mine. The front is nice and colourful, but pretty cheap and lazy. It's essentially the movie poster, but it still looks nice on the shelf. The back leaves much to be desired however, just some basic blurb and the world's smallest screenshots. Oh, notice how there's no design on the sides? Yeah, that's because this is a prop. I'm not actually dumb enough to spend big money on one of these things. There was also a release on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, with Sega once more proving that they do what Nintendo don't, by letting you play as Ray. I personally played this game for the first time at 4 years old back in the year 2000, so I have some basic knowledge of how to operate games from that time. So let's just install the game and... The floppy disk. Before this medium became relegated to a meager save icon, the floppy disk was the CD of its day.
Invented in 1701 by Albert Einstein, the floppy disk was famous among both the Roman and Greek empires, including great abilities such as being the perfect weight and shape to act as a throwing star. This metal slider that was fun to mess around with. A whole 3.5 megabytes of space, and not actually being floppy.
Some original ones were floppy, but who the hell wants to own an 8-inch floppy?
Probably a lot of people.
What's this, you ask? No, it's not Linux, this is MS-DOS. Whereas in the modern day world, normal people use Windows or Mac, and nerds use Linux, in the early 90s, everyone had to use command lines. After hacking into the Matrix to install the game, it turns out that I suck and can't. Was this the end of the road already, bested by this classic game? Well no, because this is the future baby and we can just play this in our browser. Let's hit play and... Oh no, the flashbacks. The memories. Does anyone remember these codes? Hell, you may still get one with some of your Steam games. Well, before these codes became the standard way for games to offer copyright protection, before the dark times.
Before the Empire.
Instead, you were tasked with finding a certain word in the manual. You see, floppy disks offered little to no copy protection, so you could easily rip it and make a copy to give to as many friends as you wanted. This question was a means to try and prevent this. Of course, the devs must have forgotten that photocopiers had already been invented by this point, so they didn't help much. And nowadays, a simple Google search fixes this hiccup anyway. Into the menu, we have the iconic scene of Mustafar holding up Kimber. There's a standard affair of options, with difficulty being the most useless one, as we will come to see. There's not much more here, so let's jump into it.
It starts.
Well gee Timon, thanks for giving us an epic intro. Where games like Doom have rockin' metal music, or games like Daggerfall have epic full motion video introductions,
excuse the gloom.
The Lion King sees it fit to give us Timon reluctantly telling us that the game is about to start. I'm not so sure if this is the flex that they actually have decent voiced audio in this game for 1994, or if it's just the best they could get out of the voice actor when they told them that this line was only going to be used in the video game. The first level pits Sinbad against bugs and rock-based platforming. You know, exactly like the film opening, right? I get that this is a tutorial / learning area for new players, but it's a bit anticlimactic given the source material they had to work with. Graphically, the game is impressive for sure. If you squint, the game does actually quite accurately copy that famous Disney art style. But while it may be visually stunning, that fidelity does not translate to easy gameplay. Simba doesn't stand out from the background enough. He just kind of blends into it. Again, from a graphical standpoint, this is nice, but it makes it really hard to actually see what you're doing. Just putting an outline around him would have been enough to fix this issue. You don't need to tell me that the Lion King soundtrack is iconic, but unfortunately, someone didn't tell the devs this. The game just doesn't take full advantage of that fact, instead opting to use snippets of the greatness surrounded by otherized generic melodies. I'm not saying that they should have crammed Elton John into this thing, but they could have at least tried to put some of the standout tracks from the movie in their entirety.
Hey, so turns out, slightly wrong on that, as you heard at the start of this video, there is one actual full-blown song which is the main title theme to the game, but my point still stands within the levels. They're just completely new music that's not as good, with tiny snippets of the OG soundtrack.
Another downfall of that Disney accurate art style are the controls. Simba is animated really well, moving how you would expect him to in the film, but being animated like this leaves him feeling very heavy and hard to control precisely, which is a bit of a problem in a platforming game that inherently relies on it. Combat follows Super Mario, with jumping being Samba's main form of offense. You can also roar to affect puzzles in some enemies. The main gameplay loop sees you playing through a stage collecting these bugs. Why? I don't know. Do they do anything? Kinda, but not really. Why are we here?
Just to suffer.
At the end of a level, there's a mini boss fight. These aren't particularly difficult, playing out much like any boss from a Mario or Sonic game.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
The second level opens up much more epically, with James Earl Jones reminding Simba that he doesn't have to worry about anything because he won the genetic lottery. We actually get a level design here that references the film, where we can swing on hippo tails and run around animals, similarly to the intro sequence of the movie. After traversing some giraffes, we... oh god. Oh no, not this. Not now. This is as far as I ever got playing this game as a 4-year-old child. This is the end of the road. From here on out, this game is gonna get really hard. Yeah, so turns out after all this time, when my memories told me that this was the most difficult section ever in a video game, something akin to the Battletoads speedster section, turns out there are arrows actually telling you what you need to do, whether jump or duck. This really made me reflect on how stupid I must have been back then. Having successfully passed that section, we entered uncharted ground. I have never even gotten to the section. The fables will tell of this day and how momentous it was. Well, they would, if I didn't get bested by these hippos. No worry, let's just continue from the checkpoint, and... there's a live system. Oh, and it starts you back at the start of the level? I've got a better idea. I'm gonna be honest right now, replaying this game was disappointing. I had some surprisingly vivid memories of this game, but playing it again really didn't live up to the childlike wonder I had. The reviews for the game were generally mixed, with this one from GamePro being exactly how my experience was. As this on-screen video's comment section shows, a lot of people share eerily similar memories to myself. It's clear that this game had the potential to be legendary, but poor controls and an odd choice of difficulty made what could have been an amazing game simply a good memory. Wait, you could grow up? Well, what the fuck? Why make us play as Kid Simba when we could be doing this? So, should you play this game in 2020? Nah, not really. Look, even if you're nostalgic for it, just do yourself a favour and go on YouTube and just watch some clips, because honestly, the game does not live up to the memories. Oh, and don't go spending £23 on this game from Steam, that is ridiculous. Look, you didn't hear it from me, but there's a link down in the description to play it if you really want to. Hey, thanks for watching the video. As you can probably tell, they take a long time to make, so any subscription, like or comment is 100% appreciated. Thanks for getting this far, and I hope to see you in the next one.